So, your investor won't pay your registration fee. There are a few things that we can look at that may help you with this situation. Firstly, let's look at your fee setup. How much is your fee, maybe that you're charging upfront? Is it a really, really high fee that is putting your investors off? Is that fee stated as non-refundable? So the investor thinks that maybe if they hand over that fee to you, there's no chance of them getting it back if things go wrong. Is it possible that the way that you've structured your fees, they don't really understand what they have to pay, how much they have to pay, and when they have to pay? So how much is too much as a registration fee? In our sourcing business, we charged £350. It was non-refundable. Some that I've heard of want their full sourcing fee up front, which is non-refundable, which I think is too much. And at non-refundable, you couldn't warrant that level of fee being refundable because you couldn't show that you've done sufficient work to warrant that level of fee. Up to about £500 possibly would be okay as non-refundable, but I do know that these upfront fees, just for registration and not for deals, are not going down well with investors. But what does that mean for your investor relationship? And should you simply change that fee from non-refundable to something else? Well, you could change a larger fee to deductible from the first deal. So what does that mean? If it's deductible rather than non-refundable, you don't need a client account to hold it. You can still put it in your regular bank account, but you deduct it from the first deal that the investor purchases through you. So the investor sees that fee they may get back. So have a think about different ways that you can structure that upfront fee, how much it is, what you're stating it is, and gauge the investor feedback with regard to it. Now, our stance was we brought this upfront fee in several years into operating a sourcing business, and we brought it in to stop what we call tire kickers, time wasters. And there are as many time wasters of investors as there are of sourcing agents. Some sourcing agents find that it works. Some prefer not to charge that upfront fee. So when you're going to think about an upfront fee, think about how much you're going to charge and think about how it's going to be structured. Is it non-refundable? Is it refundable? Is it deductible? Remember, if it's refundable, you have to use an escrow or a client account for it. How you structure it will make a difference to how that investor perceives that fee at the point that they're paying it. And what we always did with our investors when they said, oh, why should I pay you this upfront fee? I'll pay you at the end of it on completion. The reason that we started bringing it in was because of those time wasters. And we carry out an awful lot of work up front for the investor. We also have a lot of costs up front that the investor might not be aware of or may not see. So think about what your costs are for setting up your business and just for running it. You require that annual insurance. How much does that cost? You require your ICO registrations, redress, HMRC. You have systems that you use and also time. You have to go out and view 10, 15, 20 properties to maybe isolate one or two that would work. And you're doing that in weather conditions and in a geographical area that maybe your investor isn't in. So you're saving them a lot of time. So make sure that you get that point across. You know your geographical area well, or at least you should do as a sourcing agent. You understand the investment strategies that you source for. You understand the local authority requirements, such as landlord licensing, HMO statuses, so on and so forth. So you have that knowledge that your investor also needs and needs reassurance that you have. All of that takes you time to learn, to understand, to know your area, to know the strategies very, very well. You have taken the time, I hope, to build relationships with local agents. You've taken the time to deliver advertisement leaflets to your areas of interest, if that's what you do. You've taken the time and put the effort in to research the properties in your areas to filter those areas that work for buy-to-let, that work for HMO, that work for serviced accommodation, whatever strategy it is that you source for, so that you know the areas that work for the investment strategy that your investor is looking at, and you've spent time doing that. You've spent time building up the data as to what the average selling price is of a 2-bedroom terraced house in a really great buy-to-let area, in poor condition, average condition, really great condition. You know what the local authority rates are for housing allowances. You know what the average rent rate is for in average or good condition for a 2-bedroom to 3-bedroom house in your area. Whatever strategy it is that you understand, that's your knowledge, and that has taken time. All of the above without a fee, you may never get the investor. You may get the investor that never buys from you. So if you don't charge a fee and they never buy anything from you, but you're running around and finding deals and they keep saying, no, 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 you're doing an awful lot of work, and they will let you waste your time. They don't care. Don't let investors waste your time. Look at a different fee structure if you haven't already, but understand why that fee structure is in place and the benefits that any investor that works with you is getting from it.